All right, so this is what it looks like, review for summative 4. And I can do as much or as little of it as you want. Okay, well, it would really be to your benefit to, do some of this on your own, but I will go through it. You can go back and do more practice on any of these worksheets because it's listed here. Guys, this tells you where to find more practice, okay? I always put that there, or try. So if it says I can graph a parabola in vertex form, most of you, I hope, would just whip out your calculator, figure out some points, and graph it nicely. We did use, it does ask for the vertex on the quiz. What is the vertex of this? Can you tell just from the equation? Okay. Oh, I can't read that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I think that's it. Okay. Then because of the 1/2, should it open up or down? Up and be narrow or wide? Do you remember? It's the opposite of what it seems. So the 1/2 makes it go up more slowly, which makes it wider. All right. You can find ordered pairs using the table. You might want to turn your calculator back onto auto. Do you remember how to do that? Anybody tell us where that is? Yes, second window to the table set. And turn it back onto auto so that when you put in an equation, this one is 1/2 x, was it -4, guys, squared plus 1? Am I remembering right? So it looks like this in a standard window. If you've fixed the table, you can go in there and find some ordered pairs now. There aren't a lot that are going to fit, but there's a few down here. Okay. Does anybody remember my hints? Remember the Hofbauer method? You would normally go over 1, square it, and go up 1, but because of the 1/2, you're only going to go up 1/2. You would normally go out 2, squared, and you'd go up 4, but the 1/2 would make it only go up 2. Okay. If you went out 3, normally you'd square it and go up 9, right? 3 squared is 9. Half of that would be 4.5. 2, 3, 4.5. And remember, that's from the vertex that you're doing that. All right, you don't need that many ordered pairs on your quiz, but you do need, I think it says 5 ordered pairs will fit nicely. But you can use the calculator. Any questions? All right, how do you find the vertex from standard form? Yep, opposite of b over 2a. So this would be 24 over 2 times 6. What does that come out, guys? So we get x equals 2. And then it wants you to change this to standard form. How do we do that? Have to find the rest of the vertex first. How do you find the rest of the vertex? Yep, put in the 2. So we have 6 times 2 squared minus 24 times 2 plus 5. This is where I do the review. Everybody watches, and then when they do it on their own, they type it in wrong or something. So please be typing this in so you're sure you're doing it right. I got negative 19 in my head, but that's probably wrong. It is wrong or it is right? Okay. How do we change this whole equation now so that it's in vertex form? Well, this only asked for the vertex, but on the quiz it asked you to change it. I don't know. Is there another one that asked that? Oh, I gave you double practice. Let's practice anyway. What would this one look like? Anybody? Yep, you keep the a out there. I heard somebody say 6. And then it would be minus 2 squared with a minus 19 because it's a x minus h squared plus k. All right, so apparently you didn't have to do that. You just had to find the vertex on that one. Any questions? So this one, it says convert. So can you do this one on your own real fast? Do the same thing we just did. Is that what you have, Zoe? Did you already do it? Okay. Zoe says I didn't make a mistake. Did anybody else check me? Not what you're getting? Did I make a mistake? Did you get 2 for the x? Right? Opposite of b is -8. 2a is -4, so it comes out +2. Did you make a sign mistake there, maybe? So then when you put in +2, it's 4 times -2 is -8 plus 16 minus 1 is 7. Did I do that wrong? Okay. You guys are fixing me. See, if I make the same mistake as Zoe, then I think I'm right. Maybe she didn't have that. I don't know. What is it? 8 minus 1 is 7. Does that look better? How could you check that question in your calculator? Could you type this first one in Y1 and this first one in Y2 and make sure they're right on top of each other, right? That would work. All right, moving, I suppose algebraically, you could FOIL all this out and make sure it goes back to that if that sounded really fun. Not so much. Okay, how do you write an equation? And this does supposed to say 3, -1. Yours is kind of blurry, I think. Anybody? How do we start? Yep, so we have y equals a, then what? Okay, the vertex form is not on your quiz. So you have to know that form. Everybody gonna be okay? And you gotta remember the squared. Nobody's gonna forget the little squared up there, right? Because it's not a parabola without it, and it'll mess up finding your a value. We're gonna plug in another point up here to find the a value. The points aren't given on the quiz. You can use any point that's on the parabola, okay? The parabola on the quiz like has 3 or 4 nice little dots, and you can just pick whichever one you want, which makes grading always fun. So what does this become? Some of you will get this far and then mess up the algebra. What is 0 minus 3 quantity squared? +9. So we have a 9a minus 1 equals a 2. So if we add 1 over here, we get 3. So I got 1/3. Did anybody else get 1/3? This would be over 3, which is squared would be 9. A third of that would be up 3. Yeah, I think that's right. So it's y equals 1/3 x minus 3 squared minus 1. And don't be surprised if it comes out kind of funky, because if I just say this is a 1 or a 2, most of you could just look at the graph and guess. And I want you to have to show me the work. Dominic, did you need me to go back over something? Okay. Any questions? All right, that's everything in standard 1. Then the second thing on the quiz, that section we just did was actually called 0.9. All of these worksheets have more practice on quadratic applications because I think these two have stuff like this, okay? And these two have the actual more complicated word setup problems. And when I say like this, I mean like a throw up problem, launched object. All right, so this just asks what time does it hit the ground? Algebraically, we could put in 0 equals h and go to town doing quadratic formula. But how did we do these? Yeah, we just typed them in because we're lazy. I'm with you. Negative 16x squared. What did it say, guys? 75. Okay. Anybody know what that tells us about a window? Yeah, it started up 12 and then it's being shot up, so we're going to need a pretty tall window. I don't think I'm not grading the window on this question. I'll be up front, okay? It's definitely going to hit the ground before 10 seconds. I might even put like 6. But I need it to go high. I don't know, 200? Is 50 enough? Oh, I did 200. 100 probably looks like it was enough. Yep. But do I need the maximum? I need how long till it hits the ground. So I need to find the 0. And you can trace around, but could you guess? What does it look like it falls between here? Remember, I only did 0 to 6, so these are 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 4 and 5. Yep. I got 4.842. I don't remember what. I think it says hundredths on the quiz, not thousands. If you put thousands, it'll be okay. Just don't round to like 5 seconds, because then I don't know if you did the question accurately is my issue. I think it says round to the hundredths on the quiz. Any question? I didn't really put anything on this slide, but so what we did was we found a 0 after we graphed it. All right. This is the word problem that is going to kill everyone, right? No? Okay. There is a little bit of a chart set up in the quiz because I'm just that nice. It says when you employ 8 salespeople, they average 40 sales per store visited. So this would be people employed, and it would probably be listed nicely as people employed. I don't have room. And this is sales per store, and it might say like average sales per store visited or something on the quiz. And over here we have total sold. Okay. So if that was up there, could that help you start? What can you put in? 8 and 40, which would mean how many were sold? Okay. As the number of salespeople increases by 2, so this would go up to 10, the sales per store drops by 4. Okay. And you could probably keep doing that until you find a maximum and you will get partial credit. But you will not get a 5 on this section unless you write the algebraic expression. Okay. What did this start at and what is it going up by? It's going up by 2s over and over and over. And X is the number of times that you actually add people. Hire more people or whatever. Because every time you hire 2, right, it says increase by 2. And then this would be, we started at 40, and every time we hire, this drops by 4. Okay. I helped somebody this morning and I realized some of you aren't doing this with us. And so she was totally confused about what to do on the calculator. What are we supposed to be doing on the calculator? Do we put these in Y1 and Y2? No, we're going to put the whole thing in Y1 using parentheses and everything. And then it's going to be a parabola opening down, and what do we want to find? This is your hint, this word right here. Yeah, we want to find the maximum. Okay, can anybody help me predict a window? 40 minus 4, how many times could you do that and you'd run out of room? 10. So 0 to 10 will work if your window's out further. I don't care. What's our Y value? Well, Y represents total sales, so somewhere around 400 or 450 or something, it's going up, right? All right. Eight plus 2x, was that right? And 40 minus 4x? 0 to 10, was that what we said it could max out at? And maybe 400 or 450 or something, I have no idea, 500. Okay. So I'm not trying to find the 0 this time, I'm trying to find the maximum. Second trace, maximum. Now, how do you find the maximum? If you're not practicing this stuff on your calculator, I'm not going to answer that question tomorrow during the quiz. You're supposed to be doing homework, guys. How do I find the maximum? Okay. I either need to scroll over here to the left of it and then to the right of it, or like Keaton said, like drew a blank. Like Keaton said, you could say, well, it's somewhere between like 1 and 6, right? 1, enter, 6, enter. Your calculator will either put little arrowheads up here, or it'll do a full line if you have a newer calculator. And then it's going to find this, and this is calculator error. You should round it, at least to the nearest hundredth, which all of this would just drop away, and you'd have 392. Okay. It's good practice to write this on your quiz, because then I'm that much closer to giving you full credit, right? You're at a 4 out of 5 right now. Does anybody know what you have to do to get the full 5? It says, I wrote that down. Find the total sales people you should employ. So should employ, well, pretend that says employ, blank total people. Okay, there's even a hint on the quiz about that. So the 3 was our X, the number of times we should hire more people. So when I plug the 3 back in there, under people, I would actually have what? 14, right? 8 plus 2 times 3 is 8 plus 6 is 14 people total. If I did that, this would go down to 28. Put a 3 in there. And 14 times 28 would show the maximum of 392. I think. Someone checking me? 14 times 28, 392. Did I do that right? Okay, but all you had to do was write 14 people total. Okay, again, there is practice on that on worksheet 8 and 9. There's also a remediation in the bin over there that you could do ahead of time if you really wanted more practice. All right, that takes care of that standard. There's only 2 questions on that one. The next standard is 1.1 functions. It asks you to evaluate a function, sometimes from a graph and sometimes from a equation. So what does this mean to do, guys? Yeah, just put in a 4. People will get this wrong because they try to do it in their head, and what do they do wrong? Yes, they do 3 times 4 is 12 square it. That's not right. You have to square first. 16 times 3 is 48. Minus 24 is 24. Plus 7 is 31 maybe? How did I do? If I put a -1 in, you got to use your parentheses. It's 16. Isn't this just a 3 plus 6 plus 9? or 7. That's a 7. Is it 16? Did someone get 16?
Yeah.
All right. What about here? Is that all I gave you on that question? All right. I want to go back and talk about this some more because I think on the quiz there's a graph, if I remember right. So if I had this, and I'll put some numbers or tick marks at least. If it said f of 2, you're going to have to approximate, but what would you write there? F of 2 looks like it's about 3. Does everybody, this is on the assignment. This means when x is 2, what's y, right? Everybody all right? So if it said f of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, anybody want to make a, maybe 4? Okay, you can do that? Yep. All right, I think that's all you got to do on that kind. Find the average rate of change. This is so easy if you remember what it means. Unfortunately, it means slope. So how do we find it? Okay, but how do we find something to do change in y and change in x? Yes. It says we put a 4 in for x and we get out a y value from plugging it in here. And then we put a 2 in for x and we get out a y value. Did we already do either one of those numbers up above? No? Did we do a 4 up above? What did it come out? Okay, if we put a 2 in, where does 4, 12 minus, is it just 7? I think it's just 7. So the answer for the average rate of change means I need to do what now? Yes, change in y over change in x, and you can do it whatever order you want. I got positive 12 in the end. If you did it in the other order, you'd get negative 24 over negative 2, which still comes out positive 12, I think. Someone else do it. Yes, is it 12? Okay. I'm always afraid I made a silly mistake and everybody's gonna go home and go, how did she get 12? All right. Is this a function? Could graph it? What's it look like? It's a parabola that opens up. So is it a function? Yes. Why or why not? Okay, but all parabolas aren't because they could open sideways. Yes, passes the vertical line test or the x's don't repeat. I think on the quiz it's a list, okay? It's just a list of points. So you could definitely graph them and say pass the vertical line test. But you're looking for whether the x's repeat. So if I had a list, give me one that's not a function. Somebody make up some numbers. 2, 6, 2, 4, 3, 7. Is that would be not a function because the x's repeat. Good job, Kelsey. All right. What if I asked you to draw a graph that's not a function? Yeah. A C would work. Scribble so that it repeats x's, right? A circle would work. Yep. Yeah, draw a unit circle and label all the ordered pairs. Oh, a unicorn. Yes. Yes, you can. All right. What about this question? Crickets? Come on. You know how to do this. You still just plug it in. So what does that look like? So it'll say 3, a minus 4 squared minus 6 times a minus 4 plus 7. And then you're all going to go a squared plus 16 and get it wrong, right? I got to see if I have the meme here. I think I checked the other day and I have it in my little box of magic here. Here you go. A squared plus b squared is a squared, a plus b quantity squared. Here's Robin, here's Batman. He said, no, it's not. Got to foil it out, right? Okay. Should I try? How do you dress up as a meme next week?
No.
Oh, run around slapping each other upside the head? I can just put a sandwich board on with some math memes on it and call it a day. All right, so we do have to distribute and FOIL in whatever order you want, guys. If you FOIL this together first, you get a squared minus 4a minus another 4a and a plus 16. But all of that is still what? All that is still multiplied by this 3 out front. If you want to distribute the 3 through here first, go right ahead. But remember, it would only go to one parenthesis, right? And then you would still have to FOIL. All right, and back here, I have minus 6a plus 24 and a plus 7. I'm going to combine these. 3a squared, then 3 times negative 8 would be negative 24a. 3 times 16 is 48. And I have all this gobbledygook back here. I added 24 and 7 to get 31. I was just saving space. 3a squared minus 30a plus 79. Did somebody else get that already? Because I don't trust myself. Because of this plus 7 right here. Did you add it to something already? Okay. Did I copy the, was it, that's the right function, wasn't it? Yeah, it had a plus 7, okay. Anybody finding a mistake, or are we good? I don't know that I'd copy my work because I added some things here and scribbled things out, and just make sure you can get that answer. There's more of those on the homework. I think it's number 30, 17, 18 on 1.1. I don't know. All right, domain and range. Then we move on to the next section, which is the last section of the quiz. There are some things off worksheet 1 and 3 and 4, and this is from the new packet, by the way, these numbers. Okay. And also you could find more practice on the 1.1, actually on 1.1, 1.2 assignment, I think, which is page, no idea, 15? Anybody have it in front of them? 1.2 on that little sheet. What did it say? Dun, 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 dun. 1.2, page 19 to 21. Be the other place you could find some of these. All right, domain and range for my example here, anybody? Oh, it says find the domain and range of the question above. All right, so use your calculator because you can't just guess. What was it, 3x squared? Okay. You could do it without a calculator, honestly, because all you need is the what. What are we looking for if we want domain and range? I already forgot what you just told me. Minus 6x plus 7? All I really need is the what? The vertex? Please tell me. Yes? You get it? You need the vertex? So we could do some negative b over 2a garbage, but we could also just find it on this calculator. It's going to be called what on this one? The minimum? Okay, I got 1, 4. Yes? So the minimum is at 1, 4. Okay. So tell me the domain and range for that question. That's this one right up here. Domain? It didn't have an x in the denominator. It didn't have a radical, so it's all real numbers. Range? Why is he saying 4 and not 1? Range is y value, right? Bottom to top. So it's 4 to infinity, and it is a square bracket because it actually hit that point. All right, what about domain and range for this one? It says at right. Apparently, I don't know my directions. Is it at right on your paper? It's on the left on my paper. What's the domain and range of this one? Yes. Guys, it's getting wider and wider, okay? It doesn't stop. The arrows are going, so you can't say like negative 4 to 2 or something. It's getting wider and wider, so it's staying infinity to infinity. And the range, 0 to infinity, the arrows are going up. We good? Okay, domain and range, we got interval notation, okay? Is this continuous? We've practiced this the last 2 days. Is this continuous at 2? I'd get negative 3 over 0, which is not possible, right? Is it continuous at 0? Get negative 7 over negative 4, which is a number, so it's yes. Is it continuous at 3.5? I'd get 0 over, I don't think I know what 3.5 squared minus 4 is. Some number. You have a 0 on the top? Yes. Is it continuous at negative 2? No, you get something like that. I could have just factored the denominator and said it's continuous everywhere except at 2 and negative 2, okay? But you're welcome to just plug them in and try. You got continuous for that kind of situation? It's not tricky. All right, this I might be a little worried about. Even, odd, neither. Can graph it on your calculator, right? Anybody have a prediction for the first one? We talked about this has 0 x's and 2 and 0 are both even, okay? If you graph it, I think it's a very narrow parabola that goes up to 5. So it is y-axis symmetric, which makes it even. Okay, guys, let me ask you this. If it looks like this, is that even? Odd or neither? It has a line of symmetry, right, guys? But it's not the y-axis, so it's neither. Is everybody clear on that? Just because there's some kind of symmetry going on doesn't mean it's around the y. All right, did you try the second one? Genius that I am. I'm pretty sure it looks like this because we're going to be doing those in the next chapter. Is that what it looks like? It could go down a lot further, I don't know, but it's some kind of a W thing. What do we have there? Even, as it's y-axis symmetric. And the last one? I think it does. This is my guess. Like that. So that is odd because odd means what? Origin symmetry. I don't make you do an algebraic test on the quiz. You're welcome. Okay. So what's this one, guys? We're good that it's neither? Okay. Is that it? Okay. No more questions. Please, somebody ask one. Please make my day. All this stuff. All this stuff is due and no one has a single question? Yes. Yes. Sorry. Whoever. Go ahead. Yes. I thought I named the folder Algebra and Geometry Review or something really tricky. Oh, there it is. Weekly Review. Number 6. Okay, it says rectangle with a perimeter of 32 if its length is 2 larger than its width. Any ideas? So it's 2 larger. What can I use? Okay, because we don't have a lot of time, I'm going to just say x and x plus 2. Some of you would have got that maybe? The perimeter is 32, so how can we write an equation now? Perimeter means you do what? Add them all up, which gives me, okay? And then when you're done, you got to plug the answers in so that you tell me the dimension. Oh, no, you don't. You're supposed to find the area. Okay, so solve that and what do we get? Yes. So what are the dimensions? If we put a 7 in here and here, we have 7 by 9. So what is the area? Yeah, 63 square units. Not going to write a label. Okay. What else? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Number what? 7, worksheet 7? Is that what you said? Okay. Did you say 5? 15. Yeah, not even close. Okay. Okay. From what height was the rocket launched? So launched was at time 0. So if you put a 0 in here, anybody know what we'll get out? That'll all be 0. That'll be 0. Get 234 feet. Oh, it said meters. Just kidding. how high above sea level does the rocket reach its peak? So you want to find the maximum. So you're going to graph this and find the maximum y value, okay? So it's going to be a pretty high window, I'm thinking. Assume the rocket will splash down. At what time does it splash down? So there you want to know the x value at the 0. I can try to put it in and see. Can you read it to me quick? Negative 4.9 x squared. Okay, I'm going to say 0 to 50. And I'm going to go up to 2,000. I don't have any idea. This is going to be too small, too big. Okay, well, really good on the 50 Hofbauer. Nice guess. Okay, so there's a parabola. If I want the time for the 0, it's out there somewhere at 47.7 seconds. That would be the last answer, okay? And then the maximum was somewhere between 0 and 50. I got 20, but we wanted the y value, so the maximum height it reaches is almost 2,910 meters. Hey guys, I really thought you were going to have questions on other stuff. Okay, I'm here after school tonight. Unfortunately, I'm not here in the morning. I have a meeting. Yes. Oh, for this question? Okay. All right. Thanks. I will double check that. Hang on, let me stop my video here.